Okay, listen. Okay. Obviously, I'm still hurt about that Celtics loss, but the team did put an impressive win together in Utah, and they responded. They played hard, they played very well, and I'm just impressed. I'm impressed with the team and how they bounced back after a real emotional loss in the TD Garden. Let's just say that. They held the Utah Jazz to under 100 points, which is a great day defensively. We were great offensively, especially in that second and third quarter. We scored 35 in the second, 38 in the third, and that really helped us push and take it to the next level. Ben Simmons, 14, 14, and 12. He even hit a jump shot. He was great tonight. One thing you do need to realize, every time he's going to go up against Donovan Mitchell, he's going to have a different type of mentality because of the whole Rookie of the Year argument, and he clearly won that battle tonight as that triple-double sits nicely, and he will be able to sleep very well tonight as Donovan Mitchell struggled, especially from downtown today. But you know he's just going to jack up shots consistently no matter if they're falling or they're not falling. That's what Donovan Mitchell does. Three players stood out to me today. Three players were at an elite level, and that's Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, who had 23, 15, 6, and 5 blocks. And keep in mind, that's going up against Rudy Gobert, who is a star and a great defensive player and a great offensive player. Joel Embiid. Now, he did foul out late in the fourth quarter, but impressive, especially with just being a stud defensively and blocking shots. Let's be real. It's just blocking shots today was lethal out of Joel Embiid. And JJ Redick, by the way. He had 6 3-pointers, 24 points. I wish he hit the game winner against the Celtics, but I'll get over it. I'll get over it. I will. But those were the three players that stood out to me. Of course, Jimmy Butler provided a great spark. And how about the bench? Now, I know that there was more garbage time due to the fact that it was a blowout at portions of this game, but the bench today scored over 30 points. And that's the difference maker. I mean, we saw how we struggled against the Celtics with the bench. Today, they came out and performed a little better. TJ McConnell with 10 points. He was knocking down that mid-range game that he does fluidly now. He does. Mike Muscala wasn't struggling as bad as he was previously. Landry Shamet hit a 3. He had Jonah Bolden out there. Now, early on, you can see Bolden was lost. He fouled Kyle Korver for a 4-point play. He struggled also going out to the perimeter, biting big time on 3-point shot fakes. He sat the bench for a little bit, and we put him back at the end of the game. But Bolden did have some times of struggling, and you can even see Brett Brown. There was a time when they zoomed in on Brett Brown's face, and he was screaming, "Jonah, get over there," in his accent that he has. But the bench all around played better today. They scored. They put up points. That's great. Speaking of bench, though, you look over on the other side, and Dante Exum should never get 20 points in a game. And that goes along the lines of what we talked about for quite some time now in the defense when it comes to other guards. But Dante Exum, really, 20 points? No, just absolutely not. So we struggled in the first quarter. We scored 22 points. We shot 2 of 10 from the 3-point line. We were down 7. Then the second quarter comes and we're up 5 at the half because of the 35 points. And then we come out of halftime, which we struggle at sometimes, and we score 38. Bang, we're up 16. So we went from down 7 to up 5 to up 16. Now the fourth got ugly for us offensively. We only scored around 19 points. The Jazz only scored 18. Yeah, then Bigo out. It got sloppy. Returned the ball over. Brett Brown called his timeouts to try and stop a little bit of the flow that the Jazz had going. We ended up with 13 total turnovers, but some of them were just when the score was outrageously already blown up. I'm impressed with the team. They had 31 assists tonight. They love to pass the ball. We know that. We know Brett talks about it all the time. Passing the ball is key and huge for our team's success. 31 assists is a positive sign. I do love the way this team moves the ball. There were a few times, though, and I'm not picking on Ben because he had a good game today, but there are times where he's underneath the basket and my man just finds a way to kick it out to Joel Embiid shooting a three or Mike Muscala hitting a three, and I just laughed to myself, Ben, you're right there. You're right there. Put it up. Put it up. That's just because my inner self wants to see Ben dominate. That's all. That's all. But he does have that pass-first mentality, and we all know it. The Jazz are not having the year that we expected, huh? They stay under 500 now. They had this big run last year, the Donovan Mitchell. Did they lose a little bit of their flow? Did they lose a little bit of their magic? They weren't really involved in this game whatsoever after the first quarter. The Sixers were demanding this game. Now, maybe it does have to do with the fact that they're so upset about the loss that happened in Boston. They had a little bit of fire fueled underneath them. Maybe that has something to do with it. But what is going on over there? What is going on? When you look at the refereeing today, I thought it was poor. I thought maybe the Sixers got some benefit calls, but listen, that's just how the NBA works. You're going to have bad officiating. I think some of them did kind of go in favor of the Sixers. There was a time, it was in the second quarter, we made a late push right before the half, and there was a ball that went out of bounds. Clearly, Embiid lost control, but they kept it in our favor. JJ ends up hitting a clutch three there that helped spark our mini run when Embiid got a bucket after that, and Ben Simmons had a sweet little crossover and took it to the basket as he penetrated, and that kind of sparked a little bit of a run for us. Now, when you look at our free throws early, first half, not getting to the free throw line. Third quarter, we start getting to the free throw line, and look at that. Our lead expands. Our lead continues to grow. We go up 16 points. Getting to the free throw line is very, very beneficial to this team. We make our living there, and Embiid does very successful there. We like to get to the free throw line. So when we don't, it's a little bit closer of a game. Once we start to get to the line, it expands. Crazy how that works. Isn't it unbelievable? It's just ridiculous. We shot 50% from the field. They shot 38% from the field. I like the way we played tonight, though. I do. There was a sense of urgency. You can see a little bit of fire underneath these guys. And I'm just proud. I'm proud of the response. I'm actually, believe it or not, I know it's tiny. I know it's little. But I am proud of the timeouts that Brett Brown took in the fourth quarter. At one point, we were up a really decent amount, somewhere in between 15, 18 points, and he's calling timeout with 6 minutes left. Just try and stop the flow, just to see him try and stop the energy in the building. But previously, we've seen Brett Brown not do that. There have been times where we saw Brett Brown let the play kind of go, use his time or not use his timeouts, and kind of wait, and all before you know it, bang, they're back into the game. So even though it's tiny, even though it's little, I give him credit for using those timeouts, because we have seen him not use them in those situations and it come back to bite us. So, a little golf clap. A little golf clap. This is a tough road trip. We start out 0-1 in Boston. We now respond 1-1. I believe I heard Mark Zumoff say something like, this is the first time we've won back-to-back games in Utah since like the 1980s, which is a pretty ridiculous stat if you think about it. It is. You always learn something new from Mark Zumoff. You gotta love Mark on the call, though. I think this game is on TNT as well. Now, it's all about Mark Zumoff. You got to hit the NBC Sports Philadelphia. There's just something way better when you hear Mark Zumoff. I'm impressed. I'm impressed that this team came out. They worked their asses off. And maybe we can build into this as we go into Portland. You got to try and stop Damian Lillard next. And that concerns me. We know how we are against the guards. That concerns me just a little. Just a little. And when I say a little, I mean a lot. I mean a lot. But it's there in the back of my mind heading into this game on Sunday night. I don't know how I feel about the Sunday games, by the way, when it comes to the NBA, especially during the NFL season. I'm so worried about this Eagles run and now we're going to make the playoffs. And after all the emotional roller coaster of events that I'm going to have to sit through on Sunday at 4 o'clock, then you're going to have me sit down and watch a regular season Sixers game. Of course, I'm going to do it, but on my emotions, it's just going to be all over the place. I'm one hell of a breed. Let's just say that. I get so emotionally tied into these teams, I swear. My life is based off of these squads and how they perform. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But it's a good thing tonight because the Sixers showed me something. The Sixers showed me something. I didn't know how I would feel. Of course, it depends on how the game is played out, but going into the game tonight, I don't know how I would feel. Because I get so hurt over losses against the Celtics and losses against good teams. And I think to myself now, like, as I scratch my head, are the Jazz a good team? Is this a good team you just faced? Their record doesn't show it. They don't play that well this year. If you base off of last year, yeah, they're good. But are they the same team this year? No. So what is this Jazz team? Are they a good team? I'd say they're not terrible. But are they good? I'll take it. Good win. Not trying to bash it. Phenomenal nights out of Joel, JJ, and of course, Ben Simmons. He hit another jump shot too. How about that? That's now back-to-back games. And they weren't close-in jumpers. I mean, you're talking a decent, a well-defended jumper that he cushed. Let's go. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.